Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with me in the kitchen today. We're going to be canning some chicken, making some broth. I'm going to be having baked spaghetti and homemade French bread for supper tonight. So y'all come spend some time with me. It's going to be real good. Alright, time to get some chicken going. So when you're canning chicken, you can do a couple of different things. You can do the raw pack method, which is usually how I do most of my other meats, beef and pork. I usually do the raw pack method. But with chicken, I like to get as much out of that chicken as I can. So what I do is I cook it first and then I can it. Like I said, you can do it either way. I've done it this way a couple of times, probably more than that actually, but I like it because I get a lot of chicken broth as well to can. Not only my canned chicken, but a lot of delicious broth too. So I like to kill two birds with one stone, and that's how we're going to do it today. So these chickens are, I just cleaned them out of my freezer when I put my fresh chickens in there. I had 5 chickens left over from last year, and that's how I usually like to keep my rotation. Instead of canning the chicken I just did, I get the old chickens out if I have any left, and that's what I go ahead and can so I can get those out of the way. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in a big pot, cover them in some water, put some salt. I may go out there and pick some herbs to go in it too. And I'm going to let them boil or simmer pretty much for at least a couple of hours, and then we'll get them in our jars and get them canned. It hasn't, with these chickens anyway, now y'all got to remember, I haven't bought store-bought chicken in 5 or 6 years. So I'm not sure how the store-bought chicken would do, but with our chickens here anyway, it doesn't bother the texture where the chicken is already cooked. It doesn't dry it out. It doesn't make it bad or anything like that. It works perfectly for chicken and dumplings, chicken pie, chicken stew, chicken salad, and it just makes it easy. Makes it so easy. So I'm going to get these in my pot. Now these chickens, if you watched our processing video, you heard me say that for our customers when we used to sell them, we would raise them much smaller. See that little guy there? That's about a 3-pounder, and that's what, when we were selling, that's what our customers were after. So I've got 3 little bitty ones in here, and a couple that are a little bit bigger. So none of these chickens are as big as what you saw us process the other day. Cover those with some water. Go ahead and cut our heat on. Throw in some salt. Quite a bit of salt. Take me some thyme, some oregano is going on in there. I really like the taste of fresh herbs in chicken broth. It's very good. No. Some rosemary. I'll just put this one here. Garlic. I had some onions out there that were stressed out for some reason and were trying to shoot up blooms. Once onions start shooting up blooms, they're done. So I just went ahead and pulled me some young onions. They're not rotten or anything. I don't know what the deal was. They smell fine, but we're just gonna drop those in there too. And we'll just let that go to town, like I said, a couple of hours. We'll check back and see what it looks like. Alright, my chicken should be good and done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get them out and let them cool in these pans here. So they'll be cool enough when I get ready to debone them. And after I get my chickens deboned, I will continue to let them work on their broth here with the bones added back to it. Okay. Which the broth is already actually looking really good. So there's our chickens. As you can see, they are extremely hot right now. We'll just let them cool for a little while and then we'll get them deboned and in our jars. You know, I know this seems probably like a long process, like, you know, they boiled for a couple of hours and all that. But most of this canning chicken, the way I do it anyway, is pretty hands-off. You can do other stuff while you're waiting. You just probably shouldn't leave, but do some stuff around your house. And, yeah. There it is. Alright, so my chicken's cooled off pretty good here. So I'm going to start getting it in my jars. I'm questionable if I'm even going to have a full canner full. My canner holds 7 quarts, whereas these chickens are so small, but we'll just see. I'll just go to pulling it off the bone. Now when you get in the little legs and stuff, that's where you got to watch for bones. I'm trying to do a good mixture of dark meat and white meat for each jar. That's just my own personal preference. But yeah, once you get in these legs, really start feeling for bones. There's a little bone in the leg that will easily come off in the chicken. So I just really feel for those. And any of my little bones are going back in my chicken broth, because we're going to bring that back up to a boil and let that continue to work and get a little richer. And like I said, that's one reason I really like doing it this way. So I'm pretty much going to fit this whole little chicken into this one jar. Alright, so the next thing we'll do with our chicken, I've got 5 quarts, that's about what I figured I'd have. We are going to fill them, cover our chicken with the chicken broth. I'm not going to add any salt or anything, because I put plenty of salt in my broth, but if I was just doing water, then I would have added some salt to it. Alright, let's get our lids and rings on. I do use the 4 jars lids, which I'm sure y'all have heard about throughout the YouTube world. If you're interested in giving them a try, I'll leave y'all a discount code down in the description. I've used them now for, golly, I guess this is going on the third year, and I like them anyway. They do the job, and they do a good job. Alright, pressure canner's already got water in it and it's heating up. I'll get my jars in there. Ideally, you want a full pressure canner. If you don't feel comfortable not having a full pressure canner, can use some water. Then you'll have you some sterile water. So we'll let our canner vent for a little bit, and we'll can this at 10 pounds of pressure for about 90 minutes. While we're waiting on that though, we're going to get started on some French bread. So tonight for supper, I'm going to be making a very simple recipe. I'm going to be making some baked spaghetti. But with our baked spaghetti, I really like to have fresh bread. So I'm going to make some French bread to go along with it. Now we're going to start off, now this is a half a recipe is what I'm going to be making today. So the recipe that I'll put in the description will be the full recipe for you. So we're going to start off with a half a cup of warm water, and to it we're going to add a teaspoon of active dry yeast and a half a tablespoon of sugar. We'll just mix that together, and we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes. It'll get foamy on top of it. My yeast mixture's all nice and foamy. We're going to pour that into a bowl. And I'm going to add in about a half a teaspoon of salt. And I apologize, but y'all going to have to listen to this canner in the background. little olive oil. That was probably enough. And we're going to start adding in our flour. So we're going to start with a cup of flour, mix that in, and just see what that looks like. Alright, so I think that's going to do it there. Now I'm going to just put some flour on my counter here, and we're going to knead this for about 5 minutes. Alright, we're going to put it back into our bowl. I'm going to let that rise for about 45 minutes to an hour. One thing I like about making your own bread, just like this chicken here, it's a lot of hands off. While we're waiting on those things to finish up, there's always more to do. So, I go down here, I gotta get my cow milked. And by the time I get done with that, bread should be ready for the next step.
You pour it on in case you knocked it. Okay?
I bet you Meagan told us about that too.
Take it, you didn't see my message.
I did turn it on.
Oh, did you?
Ain't coming out? Yeah, I was sitting in the house on my wife. She just texted me. She's in here. Because I heard something in the kitchen, but it was that darn canner. I thought it was you in there. Yeah, it's on. Daggone, they cleaned that roll up.
Yeah.
We could have found it out there next week.
Yeah.
I've been putting the salt on it.
They would be very happy about that.
Daddy, look.
You hear me?
Well, with all this rain coming, if it is going to actually rain, we might also.
Daddy, look. I put that trough in there and look.
We'll see.
It's got a
But they've
whole
already
bunch.
eat, which I'm sure some will still follow the sun. You hear me?
We think it'd be easier in the morning?
They'll figure it out.
What? Dad, I'll catch feet. Good girl.
I tell you what, it gets slick over in them woods.
I know.
He was just telling me.
I
They ain't
know.
telling me about it.
Daddy, that's why I don't go through there when it rains. You hear me? That's why I don't go through there when it rains.
It gets so slick.
Yeah. There's someone on my shoulder and I killed it.
Did you?
Yeah. There's someone on Daddy's shoulder.
That was empty.
Kennedy, you put it right in my face.
Calf done been on that one.
Oh yeah. It's alright. I'm not greedy.
Who's my that cold? Why are you guys flying over there? Because that's what you guys do. Oh, chocolate's laying down. Oh.
Alright, so now that all that's done, our dough has definitely gotten bigger. So now we need to flatten that. We're just going to give it a little punch. I'm going to grease up my cookie pan a little bit here. Just lightly so we don't have any sticking. We're going to take our flattened dough. And we're going to try to roll it into a log the best we can. And I'm going to take my end. Doing something such as that. Take me something sharp, and I'm going to cut me some slits across the top here. Just like that. Alright, I'm going to cover it back up, and we're going to let it rise another 45-ish minutes. So for my spaghetti, I like to do ground sausage and ground beef together. It honestly makes the best spaghetti, I think, with the seasoning that's in the sausage, and it's not too overpowering because of the ground beef. We enjoy it that way. It is times such as these that I like to say I need a bigger stove. I need one of them giant stoves with like 8 eyes on it or whatever they've got, like a commercial stove. I've got my meat all brown. My noodles are pretty much done, so we're going to get them in our 9x13 pan over here. And I like to do mine kind of layered, but of course everybody is different. I do noodles first. Make sure they're pretty even. Get our meat. Always smell, just to be sure. And we're going to just go over top of that. And something I am so excited to use, I made some ricotta cheese the other day, and I'm going to put that on my spaghetti. And I am just stoked about it. So I'm going to crumble it up so I can kind of crumble it onto my spaghetti. I like experimenting with different cheeses while I have all this extra milk. I haven't got brave enough to try any kind of aged cheese or anything like that, but these soft cheeses. Now, I'm going to cover the top of that with some provolone cheese. Now, this is just the way we like baked spaghetti. Sometimes I do shredded cheddar over the top of it. Sometimes I'll do like a shredded Italian mix. I change it up, but we enjoy spaghetti this way. Alright, we'll pop that in the oven till all this cheese is melted and it will be ready to eat. Hang on. And then last but not least, my beautiful French bread. You can see that it's risen really nicely. So I'm going to stick that in the oven too. This should be done around 20-ish minutes or so. So the spaghetti and the bread will hopefully be done about the same time. That's the goal anyway. Alright, while we're waiting on that to get finished up, we'll get our chicken out. See what that looks like. See there? See how good that looks? Perfect. That one siphoned a little bit, but that's okay. Nothing to worry about. It all looks good. Everything is looking pretty done. There's our spaghetti. And one final step to our bread. We're going to paint it with a little egg wash. That's going to give us a nice color to it. And I'll stick that back in for just a couple more minutes. Alright, so I'm going to cut into this bread. We'll see what it looks like. Oh yeah, look there. It's all nice and soft and yummy. I love homemade bread.
That looks pretty good.
I think so. Get me out some of this.
It's baked spaghetti.
Yeah, and French bread.
Was that provolone?
Yeah. Yeah, it is provolone tonight.
Ain't that bread pretty?
Alright. And it's got my homemade ricotta cheese on top of it.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. So, not a bad looking plate.
That bread's just plumb snazzy.
I guess after supper I'll do my chicken broth and call it a day.
Sounds good.
Alright, I got everything pretty much cleaned up. Got my pressure canner cleaned up. And now it's time to can my broth. I've already strained it and got it out of my pot. And y'all just look, I think chicken broth is so pretty. Let's look at the pretty color of that. I hope the camera really picks it up. But we've got us 3 quarts and a pint of some beautiful, beautiful chicken broth. So I'm going to get this in the pressure canner and I'm going to about call it a day. Megan has about give out. So we'll get that in there. Be sure when you're canning, you're looking up, get you a ball book or a USDA book to find your proper canning times anytime you're canning, especially if you're new to canning. But we're going to get these going. And anyways, guys, I hope y'all really enjoyed today's video. I hope you might have learned a little something. Until we see y'all in the next one, y'all have a good one.